We are looking at the Hamlet fighter from the Unmatched games. Now, Hamlet is one of the fighters from the Slings and Arrows set, which features William Shakespeare and three of his creations, Hamlet, Titania, and the Wayward Sisters. So Hamlet is from the play of the same name, Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. And Hamlet is going through some crap, okay? Like, he's going through some stuff, and it's not all that apparent that, like, Hamlet is doing all that well mentally. He's having a crazy time. He's acting like he's insane, because he's trying to make people think that he's insane, but how much of it is an act is a good question here. Of course, we have him with Yorick's skull, getting ready to do his little, alas, poor Yorick monologue there. Not his most famous monologue. That's a different one. But yeah, that is what is going on with Hamlet there. And Hamlet, he's got some great card art here. Let's take a look at Hamlet's character card. Hamlet is a melee fighter of 15 with a move of 2. He has his sidekick. Like, it's 2 people, but it's 1 sidekick. It's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Now, if you're familiar with the play, you may find that to be an unusual sidekick there. And I would say that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern has some bold choices in hairstyling there. And his ability is the question. At the start of your turn, choose to be or not to be at the start of every turn. Okay, if you already are one of them and you choose it again, you're choosing another time. Okay. If you choose not to be, deal 2 damage to one of your fighters. Your fighters are going to be Hamlet and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. On 2B, when you maneuver, you draw 1 additional card. So you're basically drawing 2 cards every time you maneuver when you're 2B. So Hamlet is going to be a card drawing maniac, which is fine because Hamlet is insane. So yeah, that's fine. But not to be, pow. Ooh. Add +2 to the value of Hamlet's attacks. So you're going to draw cards like a crazy fool, or you're going to deal 2 damage to either yourself or Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and then have +2 to the value of your attacks. So we've got another form changer here with Hamlet. So we're going to take a look at Hamlet here. Let's take a look at these cards. Cruel to be kind, a 2 value attack. During combat, you may boost this card. Okay, well, this has a boost value of 4, so you can boost it with the other one and boost it up a lot. But you could make this up to a 6, make it a 5 pretty easy. But, boom, not to be. This is now a 4 that you're boosting. So now you're like bringing this up to like a 6, 7, or 8, a 6 or a 7 pretty easily, or an 8. So, you could be swinging pretty heavy there, but you gotta have, Hamlet or the boys take some damage there. The rest is silent. Defensive 2. After combat, end the turn. It just ends the turn on after combat. This ends the turn right there at the after combat stage, which means that your opponent's after combat will not happen because Defender resolves first, Defender being Hamlet. So their after combat stuff doesn't happen. Additionally, if they have, if their ability has something that happens after an action, well, that won't happen because you're just ending the turn there, which both Shakespeare and the sisters have things that happen after combat, the sisters specifically after an attack, so you can stop them from being able to cast a spell from their cauldron, and you can also make Shakespeare's card go into his discard pile instead of into his line. Got a versatile 2 here from Hamlet. Blood will have blood. If Hamlet took damage this turn, deal 1 damage to the opposing fighter. Okay, well this is after combat, but it's if he took damage this turn, not this combat, this turn. So if he took damage in a previous action on this turn, he can play that and do it. So it could be like, if you're using this defensively, the 2, you're probably taking damage, so you're going to deal a damage to it. If you decided not to be and you dealt the damage to Hamlet instead of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, you'd make this a 4 attack that would then deal a damage afterwards, because Hamlet will have taken damage this turn from his ability. Outrageous Fortune. This is a versatile of 1. Discard the top card of your deck. Add its boost value to this card's value. After combat, if you lost to combat, return the card you discarded to your hand. You're either going to discard it and deal some damage, or you're going to get the card in your hands. Interestingly, you're going to be discarding the top card of your deck. If there are no cards in your deck, then you don't have to do that. It's not a draw, it's a discard, so you actually wouldn't take exhaustion damage. The scheme, method, and the madness. Put any number of cards in your hand on the bottom of your deck. Then draw up to that many cards and gain 1 action. Why does Hamlet need method and the madness? Because of this 2B ability here. When you maneuver, draw 1 additional card. This can basically save you a little bit. If you have this in your hand, you can end up overdrawing on your first action. Say, you start your turn with 7 cards in hand. You can maneuver once, draw another 2, get 9 cards in your hand. Play method in the madness. So you'd have 8 cards in your hand there. Take any number of those 8, throw them back into your deck, and then draw up to however many you want. You don't have to draw the amount that you discard, just draw up to that. So you could discard. So this way you could get some cards out of your hand. You can kind of overdraw a bit. Remember, this does gain an action, so if you play its second action, you're going to have another action afterwards, and you will be, if you're playing to maneuver again, you're going to end up either drawing, well, if you're 2B, you're going to draw some more cards. Most of the time, that's what this is used for, is just for getting those cards that you overdrew back into your deck. You can use it that if you just really hate what's in your hand, you can do an official mulligan and just wipe your hand out. Also, you place the cards on the bottom of your deck. They are not shuffled in, so you're actually kind of stacking that bottom of your deck. You know what cards you're putting down there. You know what order they are going in. So you know what's going to be showing up towards the end of the game as you get lower in the deck, unless you're dealing with someone like Doctor Strange that will make you shuffle it at some point. And that's also another really powerful effect there, to be able to know what cards are on the bottom of your deck and when they're going to be coming up there. Another scheme here from Hamlet, the Ghost. The Ghost is his daddy, by the way. Spoilers. Choose 1. Hamlet recovers 2 health. Place Hamlet in any one space in the zone and gain an action. So you're either gaining health, which is good because, you can deal damage to yourself and overdraw like a maniac. So, healing is good. But you could also, just move to any space in your zone and gain an action, which means, you could not deal the damage to somebody, use this to, teleport up to someone in your zone or just on the outside of your zone. But basically move up to there and still get 2 actions against them, 2 not to be actions where you get the +2. Okay, and now that we're done with Hamlet's cards, we'll go to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern's cards. Wait, that's an any. All these are innies. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern don't have any cards. Yes, that is the first time that this has happened. We have a sidekick that has no cards. So, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, they don't have any cards that are unique to them. They only play innies, and their purpose is to just be slowly killed by Hamlet over the game. All right, that is like thematically brilliant. That their purpose is to just die. But they do have a stack of enemies that they can play. So Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, you can still use them to harass. They don't have to just be a battery for you. They have other uses. 2 sleep, perchance to dream. An attack of 3. If you won the combat, move the opposing fighter a number of spaces up to the amount of combat damage dealt. If you lost the combat, Hamlet recovers 1 health. So if you're doing like a 2B attack with to sleep, perchance to dream, you can basically do like a Deadpool attack where you attack just to get that healing on it there, which is always good for Hamlet to do the healing. You can make it a 5 attack with not to be. Probably won't get the healing. You will get to push the opponent a ways off because, they're going to take some damage, so you get to move them off a little bit. You can also attack with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, heal Hamlet. Uncertain Doom, an attack of 2. If your opponent played a versatile card, ignore its value. So, Hamlet's just like, screw you and your versatile cards, because it is uncertain. Because is it an attack or is it a defense? Well, it is uncertain. So just ignore it. It's just Rosencrantz and Guildenstern can throw this at someone, and if they play a versatile, you're just doing 2 damage because you're just like ignoring its value. Hamlet can make it a 2 or a 4. You can just deal 4 damage to someone. Most fighters out there have to play a lot of versatile cards for defense. There's a few fighters out there. Sinbad, Spike, and Shakespeare that do not have any defense cards. They don't have anything that are blue defense. Only things they can defend with are versatiles. So against them, Shakespeare being in this box, of course, this will just always go off there outside of Shakespeare throwing his cancel at it. That's just going to always do damage. 2 damage from Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, or 2B, or potentially 4. And 2 damage even if he feints it on not to be. The play's the thing. Yes, if you remember, Shakespeare loves his plays within plays. Versatile of 3. After combat, your opponent discards 1 random card. If you won the combat, Hamlet recovers health equal to its boost value. So this is a 3, and a 3 of defense. Usually you end up taking a little damage off of that, but if it's a smaller attack, you could win with that. A 3 attack usually doesn't win, but it could. A 5 attack has a very good chance of winning. Your opponent's going to discard a card no matter what. You just will be able to get some health if you won there. The readiness is all. Versatile of 2. After combat, place 1 of the fighters in the combat in any space. They cannot leave that space this turn. So that's going to be 1 of the fighters in the combat. That's either going to be Hamlet or Rosencrantz and Guildenstern versus whoever you are attacking. And you can put 1 of them in some other space and they can't leave that space. This could be used to make sure that an opponent is next to who you want. You could like go in with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, throw this at them, teleport them up next to Hamlet. If Rosencrantz and Guildenstern were to be attacked, that's something that would make you be able to throw them up to Hamlet, and then go not to be and smack them really big while they're there. Or you could use it as a first not to be attack if you're able to get 2 off. To make sure that you get the second one, because they're not going to be able to run away, because there's not really anyone that has a cancel and a movement. So it's pretty good there. Nothing either good or bad. Defensive 2. After combat, if your opponent played a versatile card, deal 2 damage to the opposing fighter. Okay, now this is a defense, so this isn't going to be getting thrown out on their defense. It's going to have to be against their attacks, Once again, there are a lot of fighters that throw a lot of versatiles out there as attacks. There's some that don't. It will just vary. The only one who really gets overwhelmingly beat up by this card is going to be Spike, who's got, almost no attacks in his deck. It's almost all versatiles there. So that's rough for him, but Spike is already going to have a rough time anyway. And lastly, Maddening Insight, a defensive 0. During combat, the value of this card is equal to the number of cards in your hand. After combat, if you won the combat, your opponent discards 1 card. Well, with this 2B ability, when you maneuver, draw 1 additional card, you could end up having a lot of cards in your hand. So it's just something to think about there. This being a defense card, you have to have a lot of cards in your hand. On defense, means it won't be your turn. So if you've played like Method in the Madness, you're going to have to make sure that you left some in your hand so that that card will actually have some value to it. Okay, so what is going on here with Hamlet? Well, Hamlet's got a lot of crazy stuff going on. But Hamlet be crazy if I have not pointed this out to you already. You can use Rosencrantz and Guildenstern a few different ways. You can use them to just be a battery, basically. Just kind of run them around. I mean, that's 6 health that they got. That's 3 times that you can become not to be and not deal the damage to Hamlet. You can do it twice without killing Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. You can use them as attack dogs to harass, because there is plenty for them to harass with down there. They do not get the thing that when Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are defeated, there are no dead cards in the deck, because once again, they don't have any cards. And just how crazy you want to go with Hamlet. That's what's going to be big thing on this, is that Hamlet can go nuts. He can swing big, but he's gonna be acting insane and doing stuff to himself, which once again is kind of on theme with this guy. But it's going to make him a little bit tricky to pull off. But he can be really, really crazy and insane. And I think that he's going to be quite a powerful fighter. I think he is going to be capable of taking down anybody because of just how much he can swing, how hard he can swing, and how often he can do it. So, if you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up and a like. You can go down into the comment section and leave any thoughts that you have down there. And you can also subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you catch everything that I post so you don't miss anything. I'm Jeremy with To the Tabletop, and we'll see you around next time.